everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episodes 5 and 6. Probably mostly 6. We weren't able to watch it last week. We're having a hard time. But we're persevering. So,
Episode 5 was called Regent. Episode 6, as per usual, has no title. So
sure. You seem to perk up a little bit watching this episode 6.
Yeah, well, also, I didn't even have quite the problem with episode 5. I mean, I see that it was, like, boring and nothing really happened. But I still kind of
basically what happened to that was they brought Aegon back.
Mm-hmm.
He's injured badly. They put Aemond on the throne, even though Alicent made the best case.
Yeah, for sure. But we're still in the same girl spot that we've been the whole time, and it's just like she's led the nation more than anyone else at the table. So
and she's the most
reasonable.
Yeah, I was gonna say level-headed. I like the Maester. Orwell.
Maester Orwell. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Orwell. I guess I'm neutral with Lannister. The beard guy can kiss a brick. I don't want anything to do with that Josh.
I think he might be Lord Massey.
I hate him.
Yeah.
And then Kristen, I'm tired of giving him power over me. We're just not even going to.
I want him flayed.
Even that's too dramatic. He would be so noble. Like, I don't care.
He's disgusting to me on every level.
I still
Everything
don't fully
about
understand,
him.
Like, what are the scenes? And I mean, this is part of what I do find compelling about the show, is that I almost said they're not spoon feeding us, and they are
a little.
But it's like, what is Alicent? There's so many scenes of her walking across that courtyard to have an awkward conversation with the man, and so it's like, was she just trying to use him to propel herself?
Not necessarily. I just also kind of think that now that he's like backing Aemond, she's like, what was all this then? Yeah, and he's just like, I thought I'd spare you the like blah blah blah. And she's like, I didn't ask to get spared. Yeah, every hand around his neck is just jerking him off at the same time. So yeah, that's kind of like, I guess in my opinion, what's happening.
Like good, but he seems like a never hard. You know what I mean? Because she keeps going back to the well.
No, I can't. I don't even
pull the clip from Bad Moms. I just sort of fold it and shove it up in there.
Okay, that's not how I'm imagining the type of sex they're having. I don't think it's that. I mean, it could be that, but I don't think it's good. I just think she had a rotten husband for 20 years.
Literally.
Yes, no. Viserys was a good and kind man,
rotting.
But he was physically rotten. And so I just think it was like the novelty of having like a young stallion who could fuck her.
But I get the sense that she's actually trying to steer the ship. Like,
yeah. Well, and I think she's also shaken after meeting with Rhaenyra in the Sept. I think she's still a little like, oh shit, what have we done? And having seen when they bring back Aegon and the head of Meleys, and the Smallfolk are like
over like a lead balloon, which kind of course it would. And that's sort of why I had a really hard time after episode 5, because I was like, I kept wanting dragons and dragon battle and everything, and then I got it and I was like, this is awful. I don't want this. And so it like, I kind of like that even the show was like, see, because the people were sort of like, it's a bad omen. Looks bad, smells bad.
Yeah.
Someone was even like, because twice they've referenced the dragons as gods.
Yeah.
And I find it, like, I've compared them several times, to weapons, but also natural resources. And I think that there's commentary there. And I think it is there. And I guess I don't wish there was more. But it does sort of feel flat in a lot of ways. But that didn't go over well. So the people are turning on the greens, on the high towers. Yeah. And so at Mysaria's suggestion, Rhaenyra sent a handmaiden in to spread gossip about the lavish parties and lifestyles that the royals are having, to sow dissent amongst the small folk.
Yeah.
And I I kind of like the Smallfolk. I like
the idea of the Smallfolk. In my opinion, one of the things about Game of Thrones that I liked is that they were kind of a larger nebulous group. We know the names right now of too many Smallfolk. I don't care.
You think? Because I was going to argue, I think it's been helpful that they've given us. Like,
we have the blacksmith and his family. Wife. We have Ulf, I think his name is, the one that bastard. We think is the bastard. There's, so Hugh is the blacksmith, Ulf, Diana, the madam. I just am like, okay. Like,
no, I don't know.
I can tap out.
I mean, it's not so much that I think the show needs more characters, but I do like the notion. I do like us getting to understand them, and
but the problem for me is that they're also so disposable that, like, I don't want to get to know them because they will all be dead in minutes.
Well, we're not at Sir Stefan yet. I liked him, and I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, what was his?
Stefan?
Darklyn, though? Oh. Yeah. Who's Sir Stefan?
The one that was going to ride the dragon. That was going to ride...
Oh, is his name Stefan?
Smoke.
Sea Smoke.
Sneak.
Sea Smoke!
Sea Smoke. Sunfire, Sunbeam, Moon Dancer, Crotch Crabber. I don't know what their names are.
Oh, yeah, okay. Stefan Darklyn, yeah.
But no, she, like, pitched to him, and he's been in a handful of episodes.
Well, it was, like, also, it was Jace's idea, kind of, yeah.
Because every time that they would show him, I would think he was Henry Thomas for a second, and he's not. And then, I don't know, I just kind of liked the knight and anything for my queen, and it was working, and then Sea Smoke was a fickle bitch, I don't know.
Well, so my theory, because I know what is to come, obviously, and we saw it in the preview, but someone on the internet said so. It is Adam or Alan, whichever. Adam. It's the youngest one. Is the youngest bastard of Lord Corlys, and I think it's because he's familiar. Because Sea Smoke was Laenor's dragon.
Oh,
so they are like half brothers, basically. Okay. Yeah.
I like Adam.
Yeah, with the dreadlocks.
Yes. Yeah. And I like Alan fine.
Yeah.
I like Adam more.
He is apparently, though, shaving his white Valyrian hair, so that's interesting.
He was going to try to claim the dragon. It didn't work. The dragon set him afire. And then one of the, like, priests slit their throat, I guess. I thought it was him doing it. I thought no, there were two people.
Oh.
And I was like, I mean, I wouldn't want to burn to death either. But I don't see how slitting my throat was going to be like. I was like, oh, so now I'm dying in two different horrible ways. Like,
I do also think that if I was that melted on fire already, I wouldn't have the presence of mind to then also slit my throat.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
But I guess we were talking about Alicent. And again, it's like, I actually find her so compelling, but then I don't fully understand, because, like, there was a scene at the end of episode 5 where she was in Aegon's room, like, sitting by his bed. The implication was spending time with him.
Yeah.
And then she, like, gets up and blows out a candle and, like, walks out, and the second she's out of the room, he calls for mommy.
Yeah.
What's the point? What is the point of that? Is the point that she's trying to be a good mother, but is not, or is she not trying hard enough? Or is he not like, what is the point of that scene?
Yeah. I don't know. Because I think also...
Because we've seen her parent them, like, a minimum of twice. And that's in their entire lives.
Well, okay, so that's the thing, is I feel like she was a decent mother when she and they were young. But then her father got it so in her head about how
Rhaenyra was going to kill them.
She and her children's lives would be completely forfeit once Viserys dies and she takes the throne. And I'm just like, that is assuming so many things about this girl that you watched grow up into a woman who could be the queen, and, like, assuming that that there's no way to reconcile the friendship between her and your daughter. It's just like, and it sort of, I am at the point now at the end of episode 6 where I'm like, my kingdom for Otto Hightower back in the Red Keep. However,
and I wanted to be done with him.
Yeah. However, all of this is entirely of his making.
Mm-hmm.
None of this would have happened if he had just been, like, trying to broker peace between the girls instead. But it was like he was so high on his own power and wanting to keep it and everything. Like, Rhaenyra might have kept him as hand, in which case she can't kill his progeny.
Yeah.
Like... I don't know.
I feel like the show is sort of instructing us to empathize with Alicent and be on her side, like watching the men overlook her and like all of that.
I am empathetic and on her side in that scenario.
But then it then proceeds to show us her being incompetent. And so it's sort of like,
incompetent how?
Oh, I mean, it seems like she's not getting anything accomplished.
Well, it's like not to take it there. It's like having a Democratic president and a Republican Congress.
Yeah, I guess.
You can't get anything done.
Yeah.
I mean, or vice versa. You cannot get your agenda taken care of if everyone else is working against you.
Everything, like, and I guess that's what I meant with, so what are with the scenes with her children? Because they always seem like afterthoughts. And so I'm sort of, so where is her ambition? Like, what is her actual...
I don't think she really has any. She was basically forced to take on Otto's ambition and, like, to help him keep control of his power. And even that didn't last for, like, long enough because Aegon is stupid and Aemond is reckless. And so Helena, I think, is the only one she can even still relate to because they're both... I keep aligning
myself with clear villains and then being betrayed when they're terrible.
It's not about how good or bad Aemond is. It's about how hot he is. That's the only purpose.
I want a scene of him straightening his hair. You know what I mean? Because that's a deliberate choice that's being made. Like,
most of their hair is straight.
No, all of them have textured. All of the Targaryens have, like, wavy, textured, natural hair of some sort.
Rhaenyra's is, I mean, it's got, like, a wave to
and
it, but she
is
puts
like
it
Brazilian
in braids.
Blowout.
She puts hers in braids.
I think he's heating his sword, and, like...
I wouldn't be surprised.
I want to see it. I think it... And that's sort of my part, is it's like, the show is watchable, but the places where I'm enjoying it the most is extracurricular. Like, it's like the memes, and I wish there was more people making choices, like more weird, deliberate, entertaining, surprising, clever choices. Because we got like 2 in this episode 6, because you really enjoyed when Mysaria and Rhaenyra sent the like boats with the food and the banners, and
I liked it. Okay, here's the thing. I know I made the comment about it as it was about to happen. I wish they didn't kiss.
Do you?
Kind of. It feels... Okay, first of all, watching Emma Darcy and Sonoya Mizuno kiss, thumbs up. Love that. 100%. It felt weird in the moment. And I
wanted
feel weird
it.
about... Yeah, I wanted it, but not like this. Like,
I mean, Rachel kind of recoiled a little bit.
Yeah.
She was like, not after that story?
Yeah, because Mysaria tells the story
But I feel like that's one of those things that is just either ingrained in our psyche or in our media, where it's like someone is vulnerable, usually about being taken advantage of sexually, and the only thing we can think of is to show them
having sex.
Well, it'd be like, here, let me care for you sexually in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you just haven't tried good Indian food. You know what I mean? And it just sort of comes off sort of like, that's not the issue that I'm having. Like,
Molly loves dress shops.
It's not that it's not that he was a bad lay. That's not the problem. I don't know. I like it in concept. I don't know that I 100% think the execution.
Yeah.
Because similarly, Rhaenyra, I mean, she was so certain. She was so and I mean, she was younger, and also, and frankly, it was a little bit off-putting. I was kind of like, okay, calm down, you know. But now she's just sort of like walking around twiddling her thumbs, and they are overlooking her, they are over-speaking her.
Yeah.
And the one of them, well, she sent one of them to Harrenhal to babysit fucking Daemon. And then another one, I guess, was getting mouthy, so she slapped him in front of the help.
She did slap him right across the face. Well, because it was after Sir Steffan Darkwind, whatever, got burnt to a crisp, and he was just like, dangerous! Mom, so dangerous! And she was like, popped him right across the face, which I kind of loved.
Yeah. And so
shit, get hit!
I was excited to see something happening. Like, I think Rhaenyra has big
Yeah,
lesbian energy.
Rhaenyra is for sure into girls also, because that's like the impetus of the whole thing. This whole thing is that she and Alicent were in love with each other, and then Alicent married her dad.
But the show's treating that like it's subtext.
No, that's fucking text.
I thought so as well. But
lying in each other's laps under the weirwood tree?
I thought so as well, but it just, I don't know. I feel like it's not, I don't know, it's not resonating.
I think they're trying for it to not make it resonate, but that's all I can see. Is that they were just like, they were childhood sweethearts, but they knew they could not be together in a real long-term way. And then Alicent married Viserys, and then it was like, I'm mad at you, basically.
What's Bela's sister's name?
Rhaena.
So Rhaena's in the Vale.
Yeah.
With Mother from Raised by Wolves.
Lady Jane Arryn.
Doing nothing. She's pretty, but she's... I don't know. Lysa Arryn set a real bar for me, so I kind of want all of the women in the Vale.
I thought, well, she seems a little bit half
a bubble.
But I thought you were talking about Rhaena, and I was like, Rhaena is about to tame her ass a wild dragon. So
apparently, apparently that was they think it was. They think like a naturally occurring wild dragon, or one of the previously owned dragons that
I don't know. But there are apparently at least 2 wild dragons that Daemon was talking about, and apparently one of them has come to roost in the Vale. Because Lady Jane was being like very, we were promised dragons, and these are like, it's gonna take years for them to blah blah blah.
You gave us 2 wet from the egg.
Yeah.
Didn't care for that phrasing.
Definitely not.
Phrasing. Yeah. We got a couple. Well, we got lickspittle twice.
Yeah, twice.
In this one. And not salacious. What was it?
Salubrious.
Salubrious. They had the thesaurus. So it seems like Rhaena's gonna try and train her dragon.
I think so, because she like stumbled upon the like scorch marks on the earth, and then she confronted Lady Jane, and she was like, beg pardon, you have a giant ass dragon for sure. So that's my, because also they made more than one comment in this episode about how Rhaena tried to tame a dragon already, and she almost died.
It didn't go well.
So I think that's what's gonna happen.
We saw that, didn't we?
I
think it was in season 1, was it not?
No, it wasn't like a dangerous thing in season, but we knew she didn't have a dragon yet because she was gonna try to go for Vhagar.
We also had a scene in episode 5 where Jace went to the twins, and we met those 2, and
the phrase.
I don't remember who on the internet said it, but someone on the internet quoted where they were like, I'm deeply obsessed with this woman's costuming.
Yeah.
And that's sort of, give me more. Yeah. I mean, I know that this is a show that on paper there's a lot going on, but I want weirder and wilder. Yeah. Like, I want medieval headdresses. Like,
I'm also like, I sort of love, one of the things that I do actually really love about the show are sort of the implications that you only realize, like, because you've watched Game of Thrones, where, like, how does House Frey tumble down so badly that we wind up with Walder Frey, you know, Mr. Filch from Harry Potter. Like, how do we get from like that lady with that amazing hat, and it's like beautiful and idyllic, and like the river is so beautiful and the bridge is so beautiful, to that nonsense that was happening. That's the kind of stuff I like really like, is hearing the names of the houses that we know are gonna come to like some kind of end in Game of Thrones. I find that stuff kind of interesting.
I guess, are we at Daemon?
Every week I'm just like, we should just start doing what we did for the last Stranger Things, where it's like, let's start in Harrenhal. Because like, he's just still being haunted.
It's the same thing over and over and over
Sir
again.
Simon is like, you good, bro? And he's like, call me king. And Sir Simon is like, you're not, though.
Oh, all right, king, consort.
Yeah, and then he keeps on having weird talks with Alice Rivers. Blacking.
Is she real? I keep going back to this well.
Simon keeps looking at her too.
Well, there was that scene where she walked behind him and then disappeared.
Yeah.
Literally, you watched her walk and then she was just gone. Yeah, in her fucking Morticia wig. Obsessed. Lily Munster. Just lacquered.
It feels like a black version of the down hair that whichever is it Redgrave from Sleepy Hollow? Oh,
no, Miranda Richardson.
Miranda Richardson, yeah. It's the same family, but yeah. Because she gets it's like pretty straight here, and then it's sort of like flowy all the way.
And they've had so many scenes together, I could not tell you a thing they talked about. What are they? Yeah. Is she warning him?
Sort of, but also I don't know.
She's doing this to him, though.
No, the castle is doing this to him. The castle is.
So then why is
haunted.
Simon pretending to not understand? Simon's always like.
I don't know if it's because like he is a strong and he grew up there that he's like not affected by it.
But it's like Simon seems to not like she's aware that Daemon's tripping balls, but Simon's always like, sir, like he just nodded off, or like
they're also having Daemon sleep in a weirwood bed, and I'm like, why are you cutting down the trees,
magic trees,
the white trees, and making them into a sleeping apparatus? That sounds insane and terrible. I
also couldn't. I kind of had forgotten Daemon's whole deal. Like I remembered looking at him in season 1, but I had kind of forgotten, and then I finally because I can't figure out what he's actually trying to accomplish, and then I realized he's Peter Hale.
Sure.
He just wants to be the alpha through any means necessary.
Yeah, so basically he has sort of factioned off from Rhaenyra and he's not like really working for her anymore.
He is there on official business, but he's like,
yeah, but I'm gonna take King's Landing.
It just makes her look bad. Like to us, the audience, I feel like it makes her look bad.
No, because
it makes Rhaenyra look foolish.
No, they got in a fight and he left in a huff.
I understand, but
she can't help that now.
Well, then I don't want to watch it. Like, why am I watching? Let him fuck off then.
Oh, I mean, because I have a feeling he's still going to go after the Red Keep.
You're like, well, he's top billed.
I'm like, so... it's Matt Smith wearing that wig, so I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah, so he's collecting armies, but he's effectively pissed them off that they showed up in the middle of the night to tell him that he pissed them off.
I, honest to God, can't tell what the fuck happened in that scene.
I do love that woman.
The woman was crazy. But it's
We're gonna get her next week.
The Brackens and the Blackwaters are fighting. And so
these
finally...
are the two families that are that were just looking for the reason to fight?
Yeah, but I can't remember even which one goes to which family, but whichever one goes for Rhaenyra won, but then somebody also burnt all the other ones to a crisp, which I guess was Daemon and the dragon, or like armies that he has already or something. And so then I think whichever family now rides for Rhaenyra was basically just like, that's bad and wrong. And I'm like, you're in a war. Are you not thinking bad and wrong? Things are going to happen.
Roderick, this is wrong.
Well, so it's just like, it's very like the episode of Buffy where Faith is in her body and she's like, I can't do that because it's wrong. And I'm just like, are you new? You've been fighting this generations long.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you follow the rules or sit it out.
You bunch of fucking Democrats? What are you doing? Stop following the rules. It's killing me. But yeah, so I don't know. He also imagined eating out his mom, which was super in the passenger seat. Super weird.
And the thing is, look.
Also, because apparently they never really met. I think she died giving birth to Daemon.
Yeah. I can feel the that case, I can feel the production machinations. Like I can
oh my god, like wouldn't it be so sick if he
so
just
shocking?
Like,
That's just it's gonna be the water cooler moment. And it's like I'm asking for that. I definitely am.
I just find it odd that you're having all these crazy dreams already, and the stuff with, in my opinion, the stuff with Rhaenyra and the stuff with Viserys is relevant. This thing with his mom, and then also being like, you were my favorite son. I'm like, footage not found. We know all of the stuff with Rhaenyra and Viserys, so for that to be haunting him still, that he wanted to usurp his brother, that he's basically been using Rhaenyra her whole life.
But I guess my point is like what I was getting at is it that was meant to shock us, and on this show, it's just simply not shocking anymore. And it's like he's
already having sex with so many of his relatives.
And so I'm like, so you're just doing this to elicit a response from us. And yes, that did work in OG Game of Thrones, but that was 14 years ago at this point. And I'm going to defend the sex, drugs, rock and roll, as I call it. Like, I like the violence and the nudity and the sex. And like, I like the big bombastic adult entertainment. However, I don't like when it's being used to trick me or distract me or like...
When I can see the threads you're pulling, like I can see the strings of it and I know that it's like, that had no consequence to anything Daemon is doing is the thing. Whereas like,
It's like they have a list where we need 3 shocking things per episode.
Yeah, but it's like the visions of Rhaenyra and the visions of Viserys mean something. Yeah. That's something that we have seen him go through, and for him to be still continuously haunted by that in this place that is physically haunting him is interesting. But having him just have a weird dream imagining he had sex with his mom is fucking weird for no reason.
And it's like the real estate that it took within the show.
A lot, like 5 minutes.
It wasn't that long, but yes.
Like 3 minutes, like a long time.
There were multiple setups.
Yeah.
There was an intimacy coordinator.
For sure.
Like, and so, I don't know. I feel hypocritical asking for, that kind of stuff. And then when I get it, chastise, being like, that was bad. But, I mean, I guess I do mean, I know I said this on camera before, but it's like, what I enjoyed about the original Game of Thrones was that I found it to be clever. Yeah. I found the plotting of it to be, it would surprise me by what should be obvious or inevitable events, like conclusions. And I think that's a little bit what I'm missing here. And the places where they're giving me that, it feels engineered. Yeah. Like, it feels like they reverse engineered it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And it's like, and the things that I am responding to the show are sort of inconsequential to the actual story. Yeah, same. And it leaves me in this weird middle place. Yeah. I'm also, like, sort of frustrated with the whole Lord Corlys thing, because, like, he basically is like, well, my wife is dead, so that's it for me. Bye. Yeah. And Bela is like, are you out of your mind? Like, you have to appoint another Lord of the Driftmark. You still have family that's alive. Hello, hi, I'm your granddaughter. And, like, Rhaenyra wants you to be the hand, and he's like, hasn't she taken enough for me? And it's like, you knew your wife. She volunteered for that mission. And also, he's like, Bela tells him that, like, I can't be the next, like... I'm blood and fire. You need, whatever, Salton Sea or whatever. Yeah. So, obviously, it's gonna be his oldest bastard son, Alan. Well, I think Alan, but Adam's the one that is on the dragon. Correct, yeah. So, he can't be Lord of the Driftmark either. So, anyway, but he's just, like, dragging his... I understand now, okay. So, he's just, like, dragging his feet with that as well. And I just am like, can you do something besides just... Because I think this is also a waste of Steve Toussaint, because he's been very good, too. Like, in season 1, I liked him quite a lot. And now, all he's doing is, like, dithering around. And I'm like, you are not getting younger. You just almost died. You have no more heirs to speak of except these bastards. Elevate them already. Your wife told you to before she died. Like, I'm sick of you. Just do it. Yeah. Did we finish what we were saying with Rhaenyra and... Mysaria? I mean, they made out a little, and then they were interrupted. Yeah. And... because there was a rider on Sea Smoke, and it's Alan. Yeah. Adam. Alicent and Helena got sort of attacked by the Smallfolk outside the Sept. That was pretty tough. Yeah. Because, again, it's like, I'm like on... I don't know whose side I'm on. I don't think that they should be murdered. Certainly not Helena. Helena didn't do this. And where I like Helena, but I don't want to say that because then they'll get rid of her. And it's like, it's not that I necessarily need her, but I'm waiting for there to be a purpose. Yeah. And I don't know. And there was a very blunt metaphor of in this episode of Alicent trying to protect her by pushing her into iron spikes. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, oh no, foreshadowing. I just wish there was more to it than that. But their green dresses and veils were pretty. The veils are always great. And then Aegon is awake, and Aemond came to see him and menace him. And threatened him. That snitches get Caesar salad lettuce leaves wrapped around their wounds. I'm sure it was some sort of herb. It was wet lettuce they were putting on him. And Will was like, here, enjoy Caesar salad for your health. And I was like, I'm going to live forever. And then, was it Alicent or was it Orwell? Someone basically was like... No, it was Larys. You'll never be whole again or whatever. Which... I don't know, dude. Like, kick it up a notch. So he came in real with the doom and the gloom. Okay, but he also said your mind is all you have left. Oh, so yeah, that was sort of like interesting. That, so but I was drown himself. I was like, excuse me, with your weird foot does not relate to
5th degree dragon burns across 90% of my body. Can you, like, it's sort of like when you're like, yeah, my mom is dead, and someone's like, oh, I lost my dog, and it's just like not the same. That's not the same at all.
I too have suffered loss.
I've suffered loss. No, but I just, yeah, I hate Larys. I like, he's not even like, I mean, at least Peter Baelish was hot. Like, at least Aiden Gillen is hot. Like, this guy sucks. I can't.
Is there anything else?
That is mostly like the large stuff that happened for these 2 episodes. I mean, I mostly liked it. I didn't love sitting there for like 2.5 hours watching this, but largely I had a nice time. So we're gonna try to get the last 2 out on time,
in a timely manner,
separately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm obviously
we should have smooth sailing from here on out. If you're one of our Drag Race All Stars, it's coming next week.
Yeah, we had a lot of technical difficulties.
Yeah. Our feed dropped out 6 times. So. Yeah. Fighting.
All right. Yeah, but that was House of the Dragon. I am enjoying it for the most part, but it just is, we do feel like we're kind of doing like this. Like, I feel like we're just the same thing over and over and over again. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm here for the next 2 weeks at least. So